What's up guys, Isaac here. Today we're going to be doing a demonstration video of how to tie one of my go-to patterns, which is the jig fly. This jig fly is basically just a streamer pattern. You can mix it up and tie any one of your favorite variations of your favorite streamer pattern. For me, this is just some simple ingredients. Takes you all 5-10 minutes to tie. I'm not an expert tyer by any means, but this fly has caught me some of my biggest fish, especially during the high water period. Now this fly serves a purpose. As soon as it hits the water, I mean, it's descending. There's no, messing around. This fly is tied on a size 1/8 jig head, and so, I mean, when it hits, it's down. The more ingredients that you tie into this, you're slowing the sink rate down. A lot of guys will mess around with spinning some deer hair. Again, that's going to mess up your sink rate. There's a total of 4 ingredients in this fly, so hope you guys enjoy it, and hopefully it'll keep you guys busy during the wintertime. Mess around with it, mess around with some different colors, and give me some feedback. Thanks. Alright, first things first, we're going to start off with the tail. Some barred zonker, nothing fancy. I want to keep it semi-short. I know a long tail looks nice on a streamer going through the water, but nothing is worse than a short strike from a fish because your tail is too long. So, I'm going to take some wraps here. This could be probably the only tricky part of the fly, is getting some of those wraps past your hook point to capture that zonker. But once we have done so, go ahead and pull down tight. I'm using gel spun thread here. You can use any type of thread you want. I like gel spun when I'm tying streamers, especially these streamers, because you can really apply some pressure without that thread breaking. And you can hit the hook point here without worrying about it sawing off. Alright, so for the body, going to be using some crosscut zonker. This is just solid olive, it's not barred. You can use barred if you'd like. And for color coordination, I'm just going to keep it olive. You can put brown or natural color, ginger, whatever you want. Possibilities are endless. So same thing with your tail, you're just going to peel off some of that zonker. We go to capture it. We want to make sure our fibers or our hair on our zonker are pointing towards the tail. If we were to go to capture our zonker and it's facing like this, when we go to wrap forward, all our hairs will be facing towards the eye of the hook, and it's just going to look a little weird. But weird flies catch fish normally. So, don't worry about how it looks like here. Just try and capture most of it, keeping it flat. We don't want to leave any chunks of the zonker strip hanging up. So if you see there, I've tied most of it down. And then go ahead and bring that thread all the way up to the end of your hook here, towards the eye. Alright, so now for our body. With each turn of our zonker, we're going to comb that hair back, and we're going to be applying pressure just like what we did with our thread. Going to pull down, pull up with pressure, keep pulling. Again, you're just going to keep combing. And if it looks bushy, keep in mind that this fly is obviously going to get wet. So some of that hair is going to be contained when it gets soaked. Keep wrapping, keep combing. Now when you get close to the eye here, go ahead and capture it. Again, pull tight. We don't want that material going anywhere. So if you're left with a decent amount of tag, snip it off and take some wraps just past that bead, because now we're going to put in some of our flashing, and the last step we're going to put on some dubbing. Alright. So you can grab as much flashing as you want. I just go for a healthy clump of flash, and I always like to incorporate some amount of flash, whether I'm tying a nymph, a streamer, anything. I just think it catches the fish's eye. You want to bring that flash towards the bend of the hook. Bring it a little bit past if you'd like. Start off with some loose wraps. This flash is going to want to stand up like deer hair. Alright, so once that's cinched down, go ahead and cut off all that excess flash. And if you don't like the way you cut, don't worry about it. We're going to cover it up with this last step here. Alright, so if your flash stands up a little bit like this, don't worry about it. We're going to put on some dubbing. That's going to take up most of the neck here of the fly. And hopefully we're going to get some of that flashing to lay flat. What I just did there with that turn, I kind of centered that flashing, because with each tight turn, that material is going to want to spin to where you're pulling to with your thread. So if you have a thread splitter, this is where it comes into handy. I'm going to get a little creative here. I'm going to spin my thread counterclockwise and then flatten it out. I'm using my whip finish tool here. Once you get it flat, go ahead, use your splitter. I'm going to use a hook here. I'm going to try to anyway. Once you get your thread split, go ahead and pull it out. Use your fingers or use a tool to keep that from collapsing back on itself. Now we're going to put on our dubbing. And for color's sake, color coordination, I'm just going to keep things olive here. I love olive with my streamers. I think it's just your typical bait fish color is olive or a brown. But black works really good in off-colored water. It stands out better than, you know, a white or a chartreuse would. So here you can make, you know, as heavy as a dubbing as you want to. Once you do these enough, you'll kind of get a feel for the amount of dubbing that you want. So go ahead and spin it counterclockwise so that thread kind of cinches our dubbing down. And here are the last steps. So we pull, and with each pull, or wrap, I'm sorry, I'm going to pull that dubbing back. You can use a comb, a brush. You see now how that flash just kind of lays flat now. As before it wanted to stand up. So what that dubbing did, it gives it a little buggier look, a little hairier, and we can cover up any mistakes that we made with our thread or flashing towards the final step here. So the fly at this point is basically done. If you wanted to put a hot spot on your streamer, you can change it up and put, you know, an orange or pink towards the neck here. But I'm just going to call it quits. Go ahead and whip finish it. do 8 turns here. You can do, as many as you want. Since I don't want to have head cement, I'm going to do it 8 times. Pull tight. Make sure all your material is captured. We got a nice knot on there. Keep it. Again, this didn't take me too much time. Reason being, I can't sit still for long periods of time, and also these flies, you're going to lose them. There's no doubt about it, because this fly is going to be bouncing along the bottom. So it's going to find rocks, it's going to find sticks, and however, you're going to reduce the snag when your hook rides hook up. So that's what it is. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and hopefully it'll keep you busy in the winter time. Get ready for spring, because with spring, there's always high waters in the spring. This year we were blessed with rain just about every single week, so had to adapt, and I had a buddy show me how to fish these flies, and I saw how effective they were in high water. So tie a couple up, put them in your box, mix up the colors. You can use marabou, any of your favorite tying material that you tie streamers with. Go ahead and tie it on a jig. Try her out. Thanks for watching.